If you're a startup founder or owner, or maybe the first salesperson, and you're doing some outbound prospecting, you've probably thought about or heard about using technology to make yourself a lot more productive and ultimately more effective. So I'm a fan of technology to automate things, as well as data related to technology to give you more valuable insights and really just make you more productive and effective. So here's a view of some of the technologies for salespeople or outbound prospecting, BDRs and SDRs, to be more effective. Now, as a startup, you probably don't have the budget, may not be able to afford it unless you've got some grants and funding and things like that to invest in all of these. It's probably a lot to manage if you're just a small team as well. I would say are more critical in the beginning, and then which ones you can start layering on. Now, as this diagram shows, this assumes that you have a CRM and or a marketing automation platform. So I know a lot of startups use HubSpot. There are other CRM and other marketing automation or maybe email marketing platforms out there. That's an aside. For the BDR one-to-one outbound prospecting motion, these are some different technologies. Now, some of these can be used or should be used in conjunction with marketing as well. But let's start with the first one, the sales engagement platform. This is not one-to-many email marketing like HubSpot and MailChimp can do. This is a one-to-one outbound prospecting engagement platform. So there are various tools out there. The one that I've been a fan of most recently been using is called Apollo. And the beauty of Apollo is that it combines the sales engagement automation with a database. So what does a sales engagement platform do that Outlook and Gmail can't do? Really one-to-one, but at a much higher scale. So if you've got volumes of lists that you're outbound prospecting into, and you want to do 6 to 10 touches per person, per sequence, there's no way you're going to be able to manage that if you're using email and Gmail. So these sales engagement platforms let you put everybody into sequences, use templatized messages, but at the same time give you some manual tasks that you remember to hyper-personalize your messages so you're not blasting them from a one-to-many standpoint. These platforms also give you great insight so that you can see what's working, like what messages in terms of open rates, click-through rates, and response rates that you're getting. It also lets you do some A/B testing so you can see if it's better to send one kind of message about one pain point or a different kind of message about a different goal that your prospect might want to achieve. The next kind of platform I would consider is one of the social selling platforms. So using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, yes, but some of these other platforms allow you to do more automation within LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So think of this as automating like a sales engagement platform, but doing so in LinkedIn. Now, you probably want to do some testing using LinkedIn and LinkedIn Sales Navigator first to see, does your persona in that industry, do they even respond on LinkedIn? Where do they hang out, right? Because some personas and some people don't use LinkedIn in mail that much, other ones do. So do some testing with the manual ones. And you can subscribe to LinkedIn Sales Navigator on a month-to-month basis. So it's not very expensive and not a long-term commitment. And then if it does work, if it does prove to be a inbox or a touch point that your prospects respond to, you can scale that with more automation with some of these other platforms like Connected. Of course, the other one you'll need is a source of data or a source of lists. Now, I mentioned Apollo as a great sales engagement platform because they have the list incorporated inside. Because one of the things that has always bugged me about the list databases like ZoomInfo is that the integration point between the database or the list and the sales engagement platform, which of course then you also have to synchronize to your marketing automation and or CRM. Kind of make that list and sales engagement a lot more seamless that you don't even need to think about it or have a technical person do any sort of integration. Apollo is awesome. But depending on what sector your prospects are in and what region your prospects are in, it may or may not be a suitable database. So you want to check out some of these other ones to see what kind of coverage and accuracy rate you can get for the prospects that you're targeting. And then make sure that they can integrate or sync the data into your sales engagement platform. Now, after those three main ones, the next two are a little bit more advanced and really enable BDR and outbound prospecting to sync up and align with what marketing is doing. So the next couple of tools or technologies are a great way for that outbound sales prospecting motion to align very closely with marketing and make sure your strategies are in line in terms of who you're going after together as a joint effort. So the first one is a category that's called visitor data. And so I have great experiences using Leadfeeder, Clearbit. I think 6 Sense provides this data as well. And so what these technologies do, they hook up to your website and they use reverse IP lookup technology to identify the companies that are coming to your site, right? Because Google Analytics does anonymous data and gives you the counts, but it doesn't tell you who or which companies are coming to your site. Now, these technologies will work better for if you are targeting larger enterprises that have their own IP addresses. If you're selling to individuals or SMB, this kind of data doesn't really work. Mid-market has some mixed results, I would say, in terms of the ability for these technologies to identify the companies. Now, what's really cool is that it can identify the companies that are coming and the location. It even gets down into what keywords they came in on, if they came in from a PPC campaign, and the pages that they visited, how much time they spent there. And that's great for getting visibility into your unconverted traffic, meaning people that came to the site but didn't fill out a form to become a lead. Now, you're not gonna know who specifically from a person standpoint, but if you can know which companies are visiting, what keywords they came in on, what pages they visited, and you have an idea of your ideal customer profile, meaning the industry and the title or the persona that you're targeting, as an outbound sales prospecting motion, you can then go to your database or your list and outbound prospect into the companies, into the ideal titles from that visitor data. The next category is certainly an advanced motion, and that's using intent data. So intent data vendors like Bombora, they have data on which companies may be in market for your solution. Now you're going to think about which categories or which keywords your prospects may be using to find solutions like yours. So unlike the visitor data, this gives you lists of companies that aren't necessarily coming to your site, and maybe they're checking out your competitors or alternative solutions by using keyword sets but not yet landing on your site. So this is a little bit colder than targeting prospects who are on your site, but it does give you intent, or I might say, couch it with a little bit of skepticism perhaps, so potential intent of these companies to be in market for a solution like yours. Now, intent data really should be used in conjunction with marketing. So marketing can do account-based marketing to target these companies who are in market. But from an outbound sales prospecting motion, if you don't yet have the resources, the time, or the budget to do that kind of marketing, you can start by using some of the free tools that some of these vendors offer, meaning that you can get notifications and do this with the free email notifications on companies that are fit your profile, that are in market by filtering down by intent data. You can get notifications and fuel your BDR list with specific companies that you can target. The last category of technology and automation that I have in this diagram or this picture is the call analytics. And this really is more for companies that are ready to scale up and are starting to grow their BDR team and their sales team. And this gives you insights into what is working from a call and communication standpoint throughout that kind of prospect to close journey. And again, it's more of an advanced technology, but if you are getting ready to scale up, certainly one that can give you some insights into your team's performance and effectiveness. So this information, as well as other tips on personalization and sample outbound message sequences, are all in my guide to successful outbound BDR prospecting. You can get that in the link below. If you have any questions or want to share some comments on what has worked or what hasn't worked, I would love to hear your comments below. And if this was useful and valuable, give me a like and give me a subscribe, and we'll keep sharing this kind of valuable information.